Good morning. This is a speech about why I think the UK should stay in the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, UKIP, or the UK Independence Party, has recently gained their second seat in Westminster. This rise of UKIP signifies a rise in the general Euroscepticism within the UK. In fact, David Cameron has said that if the Conservative Party win the next general elections, then he will be holding a referendum in 2017 in which we'll be able to vote on whether or not we stay in the European Union. However, it seems that despite this rising Euroscepticism, it seems that the European support for the European Union in the UK is the highest this year that it's been in 23 years, and this is a huge change from 2012, in which the majority of people polled said that they would want to leave the European Union. This year, however, 56% of the people surveyed said that they would vote to stay in the European Union, and that is compared to only 36% who said that they would vote to leave. In the light then of this positive attitude towards the European Union that is suddenly developing in the UK, I would like to explain to you my personal reasons for wanting to stay in the European Union. Firstly, I think that if we leave the European Union, we lose an enormous amount of influence, both within the European Union, within Europe, and also globally. Taking the European Union first, Nigel Farage, who's the leader of UKIP, said that for him a split would be like an amicable divorce. So he meant that we'd be able to split from the European Union whilst retaining some of the benefits of the Union itself. He gave the example of Norway and Switzerland, who are not part of the European Union, but who do benefit from the single market and are free of certain European Union laws, such as those relating to agriculture. However, I think that an amicable divorce, as he put it, is completely impossible. You can't just pick and choose which bits of the European Union you want and which you don't. For example, Norway and Switzerland, who I mentioned before, do not have any real influence over certain European laws that they have to follow. They don't have any input as to how they are formed, but they still have to abide by them. Even David Cameron said 2 years ago that if we're not there helping to make regulations, then we wouldn't have any input, and at the end we wouldn't like how the regulation turned out. On a global scale, if we have no influence in Brussels and in the European Union, then we could find ourselves increasingly ignored by the big powers such as the USA and less involved in big international issues, for example, to do with the environment or security or trade, which is an extremely important one. In a very extreme case, we could end up turning into an isolated state with no real ties with any of the countries around the world. So I think we really need to make an effort to stay involved and in the thick of the action. My second point is an economic one, and it's to do with employment. If we leave the European Union, many international companies who have their base in the UK may decide that they want to move to lower cost countries within the EU. For example, the UK's car industry is at risk, and Airbus, who has its production headquarters in the UK, may move to France or to Germany. This means that millions of jobs could be lost, which is a big risk to our economy. And thirdly, although leaving the European Union may not affect whether we need visas to travel to live and work in other member states, it may be that UK citizens' right to work and to live abroad in these member states it may be restricted. There's also a certain amount of uncertainty regarding EU workers who are currently working in the UK and paying taxes here. But the main point I'm trying to make here is that it's all really uncertain. Everything depends on the negotiation when actually leaving the European Union. So if we're voting out of the EU, then we are voting blindly, and we are not exactly sure what the future holds for us. In conclusion, I grew up being part of the European Union, and I like being part of a more interconnected continent, and I think it's incredibly important to continue sharing this European identity with the rest of the European Union. Thank you.